couple of years ago, I was over in America and I met a really interesting handler and trainer there, Haley Hunewill. And I saw Haley doing something that I found it very amusing. It was amusing to me, but it was also very interesting. And it goes back to that thing I'm always talking about, of negotiating with your dogs. So Haley will explain to you now in a minute, why she does this and how she uses it. But it's another very good example, I think, of how much our dogs will give us if we communicate to them, what we want and there's something in it for the dog. So I hope you like this.
I teach my dogs to get up on a barrel or a bale of hay or anything like that, mostly because I'm lazy and it's convenient. I work and train a lot of dogs at once, and it's really convenient to put them all up on their barrels and call one at a time off and work them and then jump them back on and call another one off. I don't have to walk up to the fence and untie them and walk them back and tie them up. And also I find that they're often more quiet when they're sitting on their barrel. They're kind of containing themselves rather than like pulling on the fence and biting their chain and getting all worked up while I'm training other dogs. And also I do a lot of horseback riding, moving cattle, where I use my dogs for that, and it's convenient to jump up my dogs on something while I'm saddling and they're out of the way. And it's also keeps them out of the way and out of under the feet of other people that are saddling their horses. Near the tack room there's a little well house, a little low kind of a deal, and I jump my dogs up on that. Really, once you train them to get up on something, it doesn't matter what it is. And when I have several on the barrels at once, I call them off only with their name, because I only have about 3 sets of whistles. So I don't want to call one off with whistles, because that's probably another dog's whistles too. The only thing they can get off with is their name, because that's what's absolutely different from any of the other dogs. And when I'm training them to stay on the barrels, I never teach them to stay, I'm not holding them up there. I get them up there and I don't say anything and I wait for them to get off, and then I give them a little correction and then put them back on, and I give them a pet and make it pleasant for them up there. And every time they get off, it gets a little bit unpleasant, and then they get back up there and it is pleasant. So it's kind of their choice to stay up there, which works real well, getting them to stay. That's kind of their little comfortable spot, versus me getting after them and telling them to stay and holding them up there all the time, so to speak. So anyway, that's my deal with the barrels. Tweed, Glenn, Shep, Moss, Jack, you, Ross, Jim, Mac, Glenn, Cy, Bonnie, Jim, Jack, Tess,